of your life.
Yeah.
And they're the only 2 days that aren't 24 hours. And she says what matters is that dash in between.
Right.
And so, and how you live and love, and that's what's going to decide ultimately how you're remembered.
And so how are you owning your dash?
You know, I try to wake up every day and make the world a little bit better every day. In some way, I try to wake up and make the world just a little bit better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And from my point of view, you're definitely doing it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, man, you know?
Yeah. And so the other company you have is called Flipside Canvas. And where did that name come from?
So Flipside Canvas is a canvas company I started, and, you know, it's inspirational art. You know, art makes people feel. And that's ultimately what connects people is when you can make somebody feel, you can connect to them. And so, you know, I named it Flipside because the last thing that Gunny Kennefic said to me that morning, and he always said this, was like, "Hey, Meyer, I'll see you on the flip side." And, you know, so that's why I named it Flipside Canvas.
That's just a little tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people don't really know the meaning behind either of your company's names, but they're significant.
Yeah, no, I mean, they all are significant because guess what? If they are successful like I want them to be, then they'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about.
Another thing that you're leaving behind.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Do you have like really bad PTSD from your experience in the Marines?
You know, what I mean, what is bad PTSD?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like I think that like.
Well, you don't like to compare yourself to other people, right?
No, I mean, look, the worst day of my life.
Yep.
Is no more significant than the worst day of your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Vice versa. Like, it's still the worst day of our life.
Yeah, that's your perspective.
Yeah, it's your perspective, right? I mean, I could never imagine, you know, where people get so lost and disconnected is when I try to compare what I've gone through versus to you, and same thing back. I could never imagine what you've gone through. You could never imagine what I've gone through.
Nope.
But what we can connect on
is that we've both gone through something.
Exactly, is what it's like to go through it.
And if you look at it that way, I'm sure it really helps you to connect with more people. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it's like being able to go out and, you know, still make a difference is what matters to me. You know, like, you know, going out and being a firefighter, still making calls, you know, like still running EMS calls, you know, and being able to make a difference in their life. I mean, I still got more to give, and when you got more to give, then that's good. You're still in the fight.
Yeah, right. So I seen on Instagram that you're training to be a firefighter right now. So how is that going? Yeah, I mean, I graduated Fire Academy. That's awesome. I got my EMT knocked out, so I passed my NREMT. So yeah, I mean, I've ran 3 calls today. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's good.
What made you decide that that's what you wanted to dedicate some of your time to?
Well, it feels like you're a really busy person. So how do you find time to fit that into your busy schedule? Yeah, I mean, look, I first off, the reason I do it is because I've got more to give, and I feel like I have an obligation. Yeah. To look, I think when somebody serves, I don't think that necessarily they choose to serve. I think that serving chooses them. Yeah, and
that's great.
I'm sure if they don't join the Marines or the Army, they serve in multiple other ways.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to join anything to serve. I mean, you can serve. You can serve your community every single day by waking up and I mean, you know, look, you're doing a podcast. I mean, every time you do a post that tries to make somebody's day better, you're serving.
That's right.
And I've learned that from you, that, like I said, I've feel like I'm a different person ever since doing your podcast. And it's because I realized that I had more to give.
Well, I mean, and that's all you got to do. Like, you take a guy like you. Look, you become what you're surrounded with.
Yeah.
Right.
You become what you're surrounded with. You're never ever going to become more than what you're surrounded with. The average of who you're surrounded by.
That's right.
Yeah.
The law of association.
So, yep.
It is the law of association. And look at you. I didn't do anything special. All I did with you was I reminded you.
Oh, yeah.
I reminded you of how great you are.
Well, you said something that really stuck out to me. It was accountability. And you held me accountable. Like, I started driving because of you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I watch it, man. I love it, man. I watch your workout. I watch, your podcast doing great. Like, man, and you look at where you were when we did that podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were the most you were doing was going to the gym.
Yep.
And look, was a ton. I mean, look, that was a lot. But fuck, look how much more you're doing now. I mean, look at what you're doing now, man. Like you're.
Well, I think the greatest part about doing something for other people is you find more and more to do, like more and more ways to help out.
Yeah.
There's so many, man. And you don't even have to, like, all the people who are listening out there, like, you don't have to go start a podcast to help out. You don't have to go through Fire Academy. You don't have to go join the military. You don't have to do any of that. Like, you can simply wake up and hold the door for somebody, or give somebody a compliment, or
even a smile.
Yeah. A smile, like that's making the world you're part of just a little bit better.
Yep.
Yeah. I heard something from General McCraven, his commencement speech, and he talks about like that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, he talks about, I think it's like if we influence, 12, 11 people,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And those 11 people,
life.
Yeah. And those 11 people influence 11 more people. And then those, you know what I mean?
And eventually it spreads throughout the whole world.
Yeah.
And
it's contagious.
Yeah.
And Shane's doing it right now, man. He's
Shane is doing it every day.
Well, I'm trying to figure out new ways to help out.
Well, listen, man, I think it's badass, and that's the same thing with me, right? Like, I had a bad situation, and I just had to figure out how to make it a little bit better.
Right.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked to the last lady on our podcast. Her name was Missy Blake. We talked to her about PTSD, and I want to know what you're doing to combat those symptoms, because she ran marathons and to battle the PTSD.
Yeah. I mean, man, I feel fine now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
was it because of something you did, like a medication, or like you talked about that ganglion block or whatever?
Stellate ganglion block.
Yeah.
More of it comes down to, I went and did a treatment down in Mexico, and ever since then I feel fine.
So what
Sounds
was
a little shady?
Yeah. What was the treatment?
So I went down to Mexico, and it's two types of medications.
Okay.
You do what's called ibogaine on the first day and 5-MeO on the second day.
Okay. So it's psychedelics.
Psychedelics, yep. And I used to have really bad anxiety, and ever since then, I haven't had 1 ounce of anxiety.
Did you?
Since I came home from it.
Have you ever done like mushrooms or anything like that?
No.
Well, I have, and what the bad thing about doing mushrooms, like it's a social thing for most teenage kids.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have someone to guide you through the trip.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. Like it's about the setting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like what you did was more medicinal than just hanging out with your buddies and out in the desert.
But I had some really big realizations while I was tripping on mushrooms. So
yeah. I mean, so mine, it wasn't so with what we did, it wasn't you don't see an alternate reality. You see it's actual, like you're watching your life on, you're like basically watching your life on a screen.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like, it's not like an alternate reality. It's actually real life.
So can you remember some of the experiences?
Yeah, man. I mean, so the first one was the worst, the ibogaine. It was terrible. Like it was the worst thing that I would never wish on anybody.
Yeah.
It was the best thing I'll never do again.
Yeah.
So I went in and so basically you take the ibogaine, you go lay down in this room, and about an hour it kicked in, and I was in it I took it at 8 p.m. on Friday, and I was in it till 2 or 3 on Saturday.
Was this before or after the Joe Rogan podcast?
After.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have guessed that.
So I took it, and man, I was like in this city, this dark city, and I was like walking through it, and I would walk in these rooms, and like I'd see parts of my life that just sucked, man.
Yeah.
And I'd seen a bunch of shit, and every time I'd see like a beautiful light, I'd go to it, and it'd be my daughter's.
Yeah.
And so I was in that for about 18 hours, 17, 18 hours, whatever it is. Come out of it, and then the next day you do what's called 5-MeO DMT, right?
Okay.
And man, that like you like lay down after you take it, you lay down, and it took me to this beautiful place.
Yeah.
Like it was beautiful. Like it was the purest light I've ever seen in my life. All you felt was love and happiness and good, and it was pretty eye opening.
And were your daughters there?
So you don't see anything.
Okay.
You just see like it's just good, right? It's like good and happiness and love, and it was really, really cool.
Kind of what I imagine heaven is like.
So what I walked away with it from is what's cool is heaven is like God lives within us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's the only thing that keeps us from being happy and having peace and eternal peace is literally our egos.
Right.
And once you can figure out how to control your ego, then that lets God, that's why God says he lives within you, right?
Yeah.
That's what it took you to, is like, we all look up, like heaven's up there. Heaven's within us.
Yeah.
Like it's within us. It's we're going there and we're going to have eternal life, but man, we have the key to happiness is within us. Like we're looking everywhere else for happiness and peace, and we're looking for other where it's at. Like we're all out here looking around when it's like all we really need to do
right in front. Yeah,
is find it. We're living with it, and we're just not using it.
Just got to realize that it's in us.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Well, and there's different things I think people can do to enhance that. It's not just like just becoming aware and then all of a sudden it's there every day. I feel like people have to constantly
search it out.
Yeah, search within, right? Every single day, and they can find that happiness every single day.
Yeah, but nothing good comes easy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going. You know what? It's going to take a little work, but what's it worth? You know what I mean? What's it worth?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I feel like Jocko is the greatest teacher ever, because he always is talking about ego and living for today.
It's great.
Always. It's all about today.
Yeah.
You can't even worry about tomorrow until you get today.
Well, because once it's tomorrow, it's actually today. That's really all there actually is. Yeah. Tomorrow is only a state of mind up in your mind. That's it. You don't ever actually reach tomorrow. You only reach today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You got divorced, and how has your relationship changed with your daughters